Hi, Sandy. I'm so glad that you came to the party today, the Independence. I think that this is the biggest party we ever had. We had about 100 people. Did you know that?
Good.
Very successful party today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
Very nice.
You always come to my parties, and I always like to have you. You have so many wonderful stories. And I want to take the opportunity that we are on video. So I want you to share with all my friends all these stories from when you used to be in the ship with L. Ron Hubbard and tell us anecdotes. But the main thing I want to hear about is when the OT levels were brought into the United States. Can you tell us about it? From England to United States?
Yes, I was working, we set up the advanced organization in Scotland, and then myself and a helper named Randy Knight went on a flight of freedom.
That's what you call it, a flight of freedom?
Yeah, I was the first OT5 in the United States, and we did 15 lectures on the East Coast, and we ended up bringing about 350 people by plane to England, and I got through with 11 people.
What happened when you arrived in England and they learned that you were a Scientologist and the authorities checked on that?
They put a ban on Scientology and stopped.
What did they say?
I'm not sure. I didn't wait around to find out. I left with the 11 people, and we went up north to Scotland to the AO, and Randy Knight brought everybody else back to LA, and he put them in hotels and fed them with all the money they'd paid us for advanced services. And Captain Bill Robertson and the crew, the Americans, we left from Scotland and we came to Los Angeles, and we set up the Advanced Org in Los Angeles right in about a week, and we were ready to go.
And delivered the OT levels?
Yes.
Wow, that's very exciting story that you're telling me. What happened when you guys arrived in LA? Did the authorities open the materials? Did they see them? Did anybody say anything?
We didn't have materials. We were doing lectures on the East Coast just to invite people to come with us to do clearing through the OT levels. And there were people that never even did a communications course that came with us, all kinds of people. I've met quite a few of them just recently in the last 5 years.
Is that right?
That were on it and didn't get through. I met 2 people that did get through of the 11 people. Well, we set up the advanced organization. Bill Robertson, who was the captain, asked me, well, Candy, what do you want to do now? You know, and I said, I'm a Class 6 auditor. I guess I better go ahead and do auditing. So I became the review auditor for the AO. And my ex-husband, Ira Chaliff, started ASHO. He was the first captain of ASHO. And this is all in 1968, I think, that this happened.
I've seen your pictures. They're so beautiful. Too bad you didn't bring them today to show them to the camera.
Thank you.
You were young, very young back then. Trey Lotz is on the pictures too, no?
Yes.
Captain Bill Robertson, Ron Hubbard. Who else was there back then when you were on the ship?
Well, I was originally on the ship for the liability cruise.
Why was it called the liability cruise?
Let's see. I finished the Class 6 course in St. Hill, and Mary Sue Hubbard telexed us, asking for graduates to come and help out at the AO, the Advanced Organization in Alicante, Spain. So I had time while my husband was still on the briefing course. So I went by train all the way to Alicante, and I did 2 or 3 review sessions. And then a mission arrived from the ship, and all the staff at the AO had to go back to the ship because someone had made a problem with the shore relations. So the ship was assigned liability by Hubbard, and all the crew that was on this
So it was called a liability cruise.
Yeah, so, and Mary Sue Hubbard wouldn't leave the ship, so she was the captain. And I said, no, 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 I'm not going with you guys. My husband is on the briefing course, and I was forced to go with them on a dusty, dusty bus. Neville Chamberlain became a good friend of mine. He was part of the staff. And we were on this Royal Scotsman, the great big ship, in the Sea Org for a month, and we couldn't touch down at any ports. So it was a very exciting time. At the end of 30 days, Mary Sue Hubbard said that it was a power cruise because we all did so well. I was forced to join in the Sea Org. I would never have signed that contract. But this guy...
How long were you in the Sea Org?
Well, 7 years. But I was never in. I refused to be a part of that because it was enforced on me. A guy with a mace was holding it on the ship saying, sign the paper or get off the ship. In the middle of the night, and the ship was moving away from the dock.
Oh my goodness.
So I was utterly determined to being in the Sea Org, otherwise I would have never have been a Sea Org member. We were going to set up a Scientology Center in Carmel, in California.
Did it ever get set up?
Nope. So instead I became a very good producer in the Sea Org because I never agreed. So I was very holding my own space and went through the clearing course and OT levels. And in the end, I think it was 7 years altogether. I went on a leave of absence after 4 years, and I ended up helping Yvonne Gillum start Celebrity Center. So then I was there for 3 years.
But can you tell us about when Celebrity Center started? Something, anecdotes, what happened, which celebrities were there at the time?
I could, but I was the auditor for the celebrities, and I still feel one of the problems in the church today is confidentiality.
Yes, that's
I have my Master's of Social Work from 2002, and I think confidentiality and privacy is very, very important.
I agree.
So,
did you work under LRH directly?
I was on the ship in 1969. I worked for Tony Dunleavy, who was Commodore Staff 2 for Ron, and I met Ron on 3 occasions, had wonderful meetings, just me and him. And I had the most brilliant Sea Org career, and I believe it's because I refused to agree. I refused to go the effect, and I was, you know, very strong and...
You know, I got it.
Oh, thank you.
You know, many people in the internet, they say that Ron was irascible, hard to talk, he had a horrible temper. Yet other people say that he was nice. What were your impressions of Ron?
He was an operating Thetan. He emanated golden reddish energy when he focused in my direction. He got a huge smile on his face from ear to ear. And the first time I met him, he was yelling at somebody and pounding on the banister, but he stopped like that and said hiya to me down a hallway because he used the correct amount of force to create a certain effect. And I never saw him do something inappropriate or, you know, go nuts or be Casey or any of that. He was very much in present time.
And you were close to him at least 7 years?
No, just I was on the ship about 3 years.
And on those 3 years?
No, 3 years, I'm sorry.
On those 3 years?
3 months, sorry.
Or 3 months. And on those 3 months, did you see anything inappropriate, anything crazy, anything psychotic happen?
Not at all. In fact, I saw that the majority of the staff or crew on the ship were very much the effect, and they were in their cases on the third dynamic. And so when Hubbard would say hi to me, I was right there in present time, whereas everybody else was shaking and at the effect.
How silly.
So it looked like a third dynamic case, which we're all responsible for.
Right.
And yet you choose your power of choice, your will, if you're creating a game and not in a game's condition. It's how you see it and how you create it. Everyone's responsible for their own position in that game.